Hello everyone, BladeWolf88 here, back again with another little camp video, just to show off some of the weird and quirky builds that I've been doing alongside a lot of my different friends whilst playing Fallout 76. The camp in question that I'm going to be showing off is based down here just above Welch, near Welch Station and Mount Blair Train Yard, and close enough to Mount Blair Workshop for capturing for ores and food and water if that's your jam. This camp is actually slightly different. This camp was made before my Brotherhood camp, located on the other side of the map. And what makes this one so special is the fact that a lot of this was actually built by a very good friend of mine called ND Cosplay. She is a Twitch streamer, and she does cosplay crafting, Fallout gameplay, and basically anything post-apocalyptic, she is on it, and she has some phenomenal building skills, and she's responsible for a lot of the work and a lot of the content of this camp, but I really wanted to show it off for you anyway. And the great thing is I can alternate between camps very easily thanks to the new camp slot option that was added to Fallout 76. If you look up here in the top left, you'll see we have camp slots. I currently have 2. There is the option to purchase more if you need to. So I have the Ash Outpost, which is this one here, and the Brotherhood Outpost, which is located all the way back up here, which I showed you in a previous video. So let's just jump on in. This camp is themed around the concept of a Vault-Tec employee who has re-established themselves out in the wild. But I had to throw some Brotherhood love in here because I love my Brotherhood boys, and I like to think that the Brotherhood would want to protect a Vault-Tec employee because of their knowledge and their experience. Because obviously the Brotherhood are very big on accumulating and protecting and resourcing various old world technologies, so I had to get in on that. So as you come into the camp, basically the way I've set this up is it's like they found an old red rocket and they have recaptured it. Let's try that again. And they've basically taken it over, repurposed it so that they can do their own thing. So as you come in, the first thing you see is this old red rocket camp station. And you come inside and you'll see that we have a red rocket vending machine, which is quite nicely themed, looks like a petrol pump, so it's very in keeping. And that's where I sell all the random legendaries and materials and stuff that I accumulate through my journeys here in the wastes. And because us guys over at Red Rocket are very, very partial to making sure our staff are well looked after, we have a symptomatic setup so that you can de-irradiate yourself, get rid of any of those pesky diseases, so that you can work smart. We also have an ammunition converter here and a personal terminal so you can check your emails even in the wasteland.
Crazy as it is here.
And oh, you're getting a little sneaky peek there from the other inhabitant of this one. If you noticed, in my other Brotherhood camp we had the Brotherhood of Steel Doctor. In this one we have the Vault-Tec engineer herself.
There's no time to be upset anymore.
And she will give me missions daily to go and either rescue people or find materials and weapons. And I've decked her out in a Vault-Tec jumpsuit and welding mask because she is our Vault-Tec engineer. She's the one that the Brotherhood is protecting. But anyway, back to the rest of it. So we have our Brotherhood flag here to show that the Brotherhood are actively protecting her in this area and they are represented. And she built herself a nice little jacuzzi. We have a nice little drinking bowl here with some flagons. We have typical nice little pink flamingo. We have some deer heads. You know, she's all about the creature comforts, making herself feel at home. So it's quite nice and comfy in there. And then we have her main building, which she's outfitted with some security lasers to make sure that she's protected at all hours of the day. We've got our little camping stove there to keep things nice and warm. We have a computer desk where she still works on different theories and different ideas to try and help bring the Brotherhood and Vault-Tec itself back into whatever century we've collided in now. I can't remember for the life of me. But once again, we have... I mean, I know you shouldn't watch TV in bed, but, you know, we all like to watch TV in bed, even if it's on our phone. So don't even lie. Don't pretend that you don't. So she has a bed. She has a storage chest. We have this awesome little Grafton monster lamp by the bed here. We have her cuddly toys. And for a little bit of privacy, we have a bath and her toilet. So this is a nicely decked out little place to stay. It's nice and secure, and this was one of the prefabs that was added relatively recently. I managed to cram it into this corner here right next to a nice supply of purified water for the hot tub and for drinking, because you know I like to bathe myself in the purified water. That's what keeps my skin looking so smooth, unlike those ghouls, you know. And of course, we want to attract travelers here to purchase our goods, so we make it very welcoming. We have our signs set up, we have access to repair your power armor here, we have a power outlet for everybody, we even have a public toilet, but not just any public toilet, we have a bling bling public toilet, because, you know, what's life without a little luxury, you know? We're trying to make the best of life out here in the wastelands, so we want it to last. We have these areas for growing crops, and of course, growing honey. Well, not growing, more accumulating it, thanks to the busy little bees that are hovering around the area. We have our little Nuka-Cola Protectron, who's out and about grabbing his materials, although, yes, I know he's a Nukatron, but I call him a Nuka-Cola Protectron because I'm a horrible human being. Then we have the cafe. This has been set up. This was a lot of this section here is going to be mainly shown as content made by ND Cosplay once again. So we have our cooking stove in here. We have access to plenty of cooking, so we can cook up any grub for the hungry wasteland wanderer. We even have an icebox refrigerator for those ice-cold Nuka-Cola, or if you fancy it, a pickaxe Pilsner. You know, it depends on what you like. And as we continue back round to the front again, you'll notice that we're coming through to the main crafting areas. So we still have our ability to work out, you know, get our swole on. We have our nice little barbecue pit here with some fresh meat, spare wood, so we can get some really tasty meat on the go. Maybe some nice yao guai, or hell, even a nice Brahmin steak would be nice right about now. And we have our recreational area. We can sit around the campfire, tell stories, you know, maybe have a little cigar. But then this is the main reason this camp was picked. This little guy right here. And if you don't know this little Murgle, then you're missing out. This is one of the very few cat NPCs that actively spawns. And he spawns specifically to this area. He will climb about on the counters here, like this. You'll see him jumping. He'll come and sit up on the top there. You know, there's stuff to loot here if that's your jam. We've got, I don't know what that is, but we'll leave that alone. Whatever Murgle's been up to, we don't ask questions. But Murgle will also feed from this pot here, lay out on the mats, and basically just relax. So we have our own little camp kitty cat. So I had camp pets before they added camp pets, just saying. But we have our little chemistry area. We have all our relevant workbenches. We have our cafe. We have Mr. Candy, Mr. Fuzzy up here, so like people can sit down, they can have a drink. He's having his little coffee for the morning. It's been a very long night for him. And then we move further along. We've got a nice little chill-out lounge here. You can sit with some lights, you can watch some TV, you can stare at this crazy Wendigo Colossus heads on sticks, because, you know, why not? And there's a little Wendigo plushie to go with it, look, just like that. So this is our little recreation area. We then have our stash boxes and bits, but we also have the guest rooms, or guest room specifically. So again, it's Brotherhood themed because we are protected by the Brotherhood here at this camp. So we need to make sure that when the scouts come by to check up on us and trade for supplies and schematics, that they have somewhere to stay. Because a tired person does not live long in the wastes. You need to be alert, you need to be prepared. So we have spare clothes, we have places to work out, we have just all sorts of fun stuff, like little collectibles and stuff so they can feel at home. We've got a nice little area they can sit down, they can fill out their reports. A nice double bed, you know, so you can top and tail if there's a couple of you. Or if you like to spoon, you know, I'll be big spoon or little spoon. I don't mind. We have some nice collectible steins here, you know, just to show off. Because in the wasteland, we have to create the beauty ourselves. You know, we have to bring the joy into the wastelands on our own. I've tried to enclose this area as best I can with these beautiful walls, but with the terrain being so rugged and all over the place, it does look a little bit funky. But I took the opportunity to wall it in just to protect it from the various mole miners and stuff, because if you look just over this wall, that's Welch, just down there. And the mole miners often like to come up here and have a go. But luckily, I mean, with this being so close, you're in very close proximity to the train station there for trading in supplies, picking up new materials and bits like that. So everything's all quite nicely knit, so it makes things a lot easier if you're wanting to trade in materials or just ditch some loot at the legendary script vendor. We have a nice little campfire under here that helps provide a bit of heat, and then you come up to the social area. We have bins for our rubbish because we want to make sure that stuff is thrown away. We don't want to add to, I mean, look at that, all that rubbish there already. We don't want to really add to that. So we've got some guitars set up, we've got a nice barbecue.
Hey, world's tough out there. Don't make it tough inside yourself too.
Exactly. We don't want to make it too tough on ourselves. We have some fun little recreation stuff like this little bed of nails, just so we can have little fun little challenges. We've got a nice picnic bench to sit and have some food. So everyone's well catered to. So this camp is relatively simple in its execution. You know, it's not too hectic, I think. But what I think makes these fun is the other two shelters I have. The first of which I'm going to show you now. This shelter was the first ever shelter that I did. My building skills were very subpar. I've still got a hell of a lot of learning to do. I'm constantly learning from the likes of Spike Johnson, ND Cosplay, even Gordon's Barbecue as well. Like, they've all provided input into ideas and things that I can change and do to really bring my camps to life. And I love that about this community. The Fallout 76 community on Twitch is a fantastic place to be. But this is what I call my museum. So I have all my collectible heads of all the different creatures I've hunted, special armors, like in this case this is the cave diving armor. We have the Brotherhood of Steel special ops armor here. We have super mutant tubes, Wendigo tubes, Colossus tubes, Mothman statues, Scorch Beast Queens, you name it. We've got a little bit of everything in here. I mean, we've even got this crazy guy here, who is basically a crazy raider with a Deathclaw head. I mean, it doesn't need to make sense. It's Fallout. It doesn't matter. But then you come... Ooh, I don't know what's going on with these doors today, but let's try that again. So you come through here into my museum. And it's in here that I basically decided to collect every single stuffed animal in the game. Because my partner is a very big fan of Fallout. She adores this game. She has entirely too many hours spent playing Fallout games. And she tasked me with collecting every single cuddly toy. So, this is it. I went around and I collected the cuddly toys, the special cutesy outfits. I also went and collected all the special little toy robots that you can find in the game. These weird, crazy animatronic clowns. Even some of the board games too, and the Steins. I even went so far as to collect all of the different bobbleheads, and I've even started collecting the magazines. So this is the museum. I've set this up so we have like some really quirky weird stuff like the Wendigo Colossus rug and the sloth rug, but cutes and uglies, all in one big area. We also have stuffies in here as well. Like, we have little cuddly toys collectibles. Like, they're having a little meeting, as you can see. We have another little desk area. We have a chill out lounge here for watching TV and reading comics and just having a good time. And then we have this, the pie. Gordon's Barbecue was the guy that got me onto the pie thing. I tuned into a stream one day and there was this big deal about perfectly preserved pies. If you don't know, perfectly preserved pies appear in special types of vending machines throughout Appalachia. And you go over and activate them, the claw drops down, and then it has a chance of grabbing the pie. But you need to have good luck in order to have a chance of getting it, so it can be quite difficult to collect them. So each of these pies that you see here have all been collected from those machines through sheer trial and error and sheer luck. So it's taken a lot of work, but I've got quite a few so far, and I plan on adding even more. But that's the basics of this first shelter. I'm now going to take you through to my next one, which is a vault lobby shelter. And this one was actually designed for me by my partner, Karlasaurusrex, who decided she wanted to make me a social indoor diner type area. And this is what we've got. So obviously if you're going into the diner, you're going to want to make sure you're not irradiated. So you're going to want to use the symptomatic and get yourself all cleaned up. You're going to want to work out first. Get yourself all freshened up, all hyped and ready to go before you go and have a nice coffee and hit the wastes. We have a chill out lounge with this beautiful little slothy boy here. I love killing these guys. I don't care what anyone says. Killing the mega sloths is just hours of fun. I don't care what anyone says. So we have a nice chill out bit here, and because she's nice like that, we have two entrances. We can either go left if we're a bloody build and want to keep our rads, or we go right through the decontamination gate to remove them. So that way you've got the options. And then we come to the first area here. This is what my partner has aptly called the Council of Stuffies. It is here, as you can see, that all of the decisions about what happens in Appalachia go down. You know, it's discussed by the Stuffies, and they ultimately decide the fate of everyone in Appalachia. So these are the guys you want to keep on your good side. And we come over here. Obviously, once again, I have to represent my Brotherhood boys. I've got some fun little outfits, like Piper's outfit from Fallout 4, Sheep Squatch mascot, and the Elder Maxon coat from the Nuclear Winter event. And this guy, I picked these outfits up and combined them together, and it just made me think of Star-Lord. So I figured that if there was ever like a cosplay event in Fallout 76 on any of the many awesome community streams that take place, then I would go as Star-Lord, and that's the kind of vibe that I got from this little suit. So like you got the breather helmet and the sort of like the ragged wasteland wanderer jacket type deal going on, and I just thought that worked really well. Then we come into the main diner, and this was designed by Karlasaurus, and she made all of this. So she set me up with like some nice dining tables for people to sit at, with smoking, you know, because you know, in the wasteland when radiation and nuclear bombs and super mutants are a problem, smoking indoors becomes a very secondary problem. So I don't think anyone really cares. So you can smoke indoors, you can listen to some music on your jukebox, and you can even go and check out the vendor here. So we have a Slocum Joe's vendor with some of my plans and bits in there, and you can get yourself a Nuka-Cola, you can get a Stein, maybe even take one of those tasty looking donuts in there because they look real good. We'll just ignore the flies, and I think those are flies in there, I'm not even sure, but we'll ignore that. But yeah. This is it. We've also got a little Eatertronic, we've got some ice, we've got fresh cigarettes if that's what you need, and everything's all covered. So you've got a nice welcoming cafe to come in out of the wind, out of the rad storms, and just relax. You haven't got to worry about anything. You can just take a load off, have a bite to eat, maybe a cup of coffee, you know, maybe a rad roach steak, whatever you fancy. But that's basically it, guys. That's the entirety of my camps and shelters that I've made so far. If you have any critiques, criticisms, suggestions, or hell, even if you want to know how I did something, feel free to drop me a message. I will be including links to all of the different Twitch streamers that I have interacted with, that have had input into both my Brotherhood of Steel camp and my current camp here, because I think they all deserve a shout out. They're all fantastic people, and if you're not involved in the 76 community on Twitch, then you definitely should be. There are some amazing people there. And once again, thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you again.